son CV, ça m'a vraiment beaucoup surpris. Développeur geek, c'est pas... Nous allons accueillir maintenant Monsieur Patrick Debois, qui comprend le français, donc il faut que je fasse attention à ce que je dis, mais qui va faire sa présentation en anglais, si j'ai bien compris, qui vient de Hollande, c'est bien ça? De Belgique, pardon, de Belgique. Donc qui depuis 15 ans travaille en entreprise et a occupé tout un tas de postes différents en développement, en réseau, en administration système, test et gestion de projet. Et ce soir, il va nous parler d'un sujet un peu nouveau qui s'appelle Devops, qui est un barbarisme que je vais lui laisser le soin de définir lui-même. Merci d'accueillir Patrick Debois.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. Sorry, I do it in English. I do speak French, but you will understand it less if I speak it. Okay, Devops. I like to introduce things with a little story. So this was me as a young developer. Okay, I like to develop the simple applications. We all did those Hello World, and they all go, of course, very well. I used to install this on my little server, and I kept it going. And most of the time, the results were beautiful. They were okay. But sometimes the results were like, wouldn't like those, would you? But, of course, overall, my friends, they would like it. So I kept on coding. And we all learn by reading books, and we all love, like, architecture. Who doesn't? We all have our Java certification. Who has a Java certification here? Whoa, it could be better. Yeah. When I do the same representation for HR, it's the same. Okay, but we always have those occasional problems with our service going wrong, even with our simple Hello World applications. So I blamed the guys in operations. Because, well, I was a good coder, I read all the books, no problem. It's those guys who run the server that made it crash. So, well, finally I left the company and I decided to start my own company. And so I could make all the decisions I wanted. So I had go away from the cowboys and have a customer focus. That's what we all want today, customer focus. But to do that, we need to have the coolest development toolkits. You know, what's the latest new? Was it Scala heard? No? Okay. And then frameworks, hybrid, whatever. I don't know. I don't use frameworks, but that's me. The DBAs, sorting out the schemas. That's something else. Usually not done by the coders, because it's so specifically, but we need to work with them together. And the guys from the user interface, we know that's important, so we have to make sure that the user likes our application. We got that right after a while. So, checks. So once we started coding, we learned that we have to put in tests. So we started with the unit tests, and even went for the behavior-driven development, because we really want to taste of what the user wants of our application. But still, problems with our application service. Why? The best frameworks, the best developers, the best DBAs, user interface, everything was okay. Still crashes. Okay, bigger boxes will never crash again. Memory, heap size, whatever you can think of. Garbage collection. But the sysadmins, they got the biggest servers, of course. So we got a few smaller servers in our test and development environment. But the biggest, okay. But we use the cloud, virtualization, segmentation, unlimited power. Like in the previous speaker said, oh, we move it to the cloud, no problems anymore, we can skip the sysadmins. Nice. It really solves all your problems? Yeah, maybe for you, but it didn't for me. Because my customer wasn't happy. It was still crashing. And why? Okay. I I went to the IT department, but they were very busy firefighting all those crappy servers with these crappy applications who crashed, so it was hard to get their help, but hey, they were busy, so that was a good sign, I guess. And then, complete and utmost failure. The lights went out. So what happened? Power! Oh, to run a server, we need power. Oh, something we forgot. Oh yeah. We're a developer. We don't do power supplies. It's beyond us. Why do we have to think about power? And then the application. Okay, our database should be okay, not okay. We couldn't tell anymore because the data was corrupted. So the state was unknown. Something we had never taken into account during our tests, because we always assumed this is a situation that will never happen. Because of a failure, it could happen. So, major outage. We went down, closed the whole shop. Okay, too bad, SLA's broken. And our small little fixes like a cron job that would restart the server, or like remove the temporary files, or whatever, sent to dev null. They just didn't work anymore. So we're like the big developers, this previous speaker said, hey, we can solve everything, but we didn't take these things into account. Backups, completely corrupted? Damn. So we still have to turn to the IT guys, because they are used to solving these kinds of problems. We are not used to doing that. So we are very lucky. They had a cold start and die system, some CDs, some backups, from maybe sometimes old, but we could get it running. So what happened? Customer was happy again. And it was not because of us, not because of the developer, but because of the IT people who saved the day. And we always said, they don't bring value to the system. But I got it up, and I got the customer happy again. So it was time to take a step back. Like when you have retrospectives, you think about it, complete failure, that's usually a point where you do this. First observation. So we developers, we have to stop being like the rock stars, that we can solve everything ourselves. So I contradict the previous speaker, because he thinks we'll all become the developer and take everybody's job. I don't agree with that. Because development has no value until it's in production. We all know that. But we don't go to production because we don't like production. Development is only part of the whole complete value chain. And I guess that's the most important message I want to put. So we're like a tiny part in this whole chain. And for getting whole through the chain, we have to work together with lots of people. So not only the developers, not only the analysts, testers, UI designers, which the agile people go through, but also the guys from security, the network, the architects, the system administrators. So it doesn't stop until it's in production. That's the main message of DevOps. Work together. We have some cool tools. I'll let you search that on the internet. But this is the main message. So putting monitoring and development in the development environment and in the test environment. So not only in the production environment. So these guys have all the knowledge you want to get that up and running. So ask them, reuse it. The same monitoring scripts in your production environment. Scaling from the beginning. So not like, okay, I can do this functional cool stuff with 2 lines of code, and then for scaling, oh damn, I can't use my framework anymore because it's too heavy, I have to scale. Think about it in the beginning when you start your application. Because if it's big, your application, you have to scale very rapidly. But you never know when it's going to be hit. So technical debt, something you're used to in your code, but it's important that you keep on working on that so you don't have like those fixes running in production all the time. And deployment tools. So not like, okay, zip this file and transfer it, okay, make it a proper WAR file, configurable items, that sort of stuff. Okay. deployment reproducible. So not only on your development system, not only on your test system, but maybe on the cloud, maybe on all your systems. Make it the same process for every stage in your environment. Collecting metrics, make sure that you have the possibility from an operational point of view to collect the metrics. How many transfers do you do? How many times you call a function? How many times you do a business function? These are metrics that can be important. So you have to provide the hooks to the guys running the server. Load balancing and caching, that's something you don't have to solve in your application. There are other ways of doing that. Go talk to these guys. So they have solutions for that. Content delivery networks, so don't replicate all your content management system all over again. Use these things. Application security proofing, that's something you will know if there's a breach in your production. So be aware, you might not be running your own production, but if you are on call, you know what it means to have a security breach. Regulations, of course. These guys often know better the regulations because they have to comply all the time, and it's in their SLAs, and sometimes it's not specified in the application functionality up front. Integrated backups, we handle that one, so that when your application needs a backup, that it's consistent over your file system, your database, your whatever caching system, so that it keeps being okay when it's backed up. Multi-user problem, something that you can solve by scaling your servers, that you don't have to solve in your code itself. Self-healing, when your database is corrupt, you might have some places where you can fix these states very easily. So the thing is that when you start collaborating between the two groups and you don't see them as different parts in your company, you have to create and you start creating the trust by working together on all these subjects. So the devs can be confident that it's going to be deployed okay, and then the ops know that it's comfortable when the new application comes in and they're being confident. So being a great developer, for me that means like working together with everybody and not, as the previous speaker said, do it all yourself and become the Uber developer. Sorry, that's my opinion. So not about devs, not about ops, it's about a happy customer. So that makes you having fun again at work.